today? I mean, seriously, Gabriel, when you lose the tie. Turning to the situation in the Middle East, the Secretary-General is deeply concerned by the continuing escalation in the Middle East, including by strikes by the United States on Iran and the strikes by Iran on neighboring countries in the Gulf and beyond that are not parties to the conflict, and significant increase hostile rhetoric. He urges the parties to return to the full implementation of the ceasefire to avoid any further deterioration, which, as he told the Security Council yesterday, could trigger full resumption of the conflict with unpredictable consequences for the region and the world, especially for those in the most vulnerable countries. The Secretary-General underscores that the exercise of navigational rights and freedoms in accordance with international law must be respected. He further calls on all parties to uphold their obligations under international law and to take all feasible precautions to protect civilians. He reiterates that the only way forward is through genuine dialogue and negotiations. He calls on the United States and Iran to redouble efforts towards a peaceful, comprehensive, and durable agreement that advances regional and international peace and security.
The second major statement by the Secretary-General in 2 days on de-escalating possibilities.
Turning to the situation in the occupied Palestinian territory, and this time I will lead and focus on the occupied West Bank, where our colleagues at the Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs inform us that the number of settler attacks causing casualties or property damage this year in the West Bank has now surpassed 1,000. These attacks have affected more than 230 communities across all parts of the West Bank. More than 2,200 Palestinians have been displaced this year due to settler violence or other access restrictions, alongside hundreds more who've been displaced due to home demolitions by Israeli authorities. Just last week, settler attacks resulted in the injury of more than 30 Palestinians and widespread damage to property, essential infrastructure, as well as livelihoods. The current pace of settler attacks causing casualties or property damage, an average of 6 incidents per day, is higher than any year on record.
The President of the United States said in social media post that the U.S. will take.
Turning to Gaza, our Mine Action colleagues there say that in the first week of June, they conducted 50 assessments of explosive hazards. Through these assessments, they supported the removal of debris and other humanitarian efforts. They're also raising awareness, especially among children who are often the victims of unexploded ordnance, and also of adults, of risks associated with explosive ordnance and how to avoid those risks. On nutrition, partners say that in May, they screened more than 77,000 children between the ages of 6 and 59 months. More than 4% of them were identified with acute malnutrition, and they were admitted to treatment. Over 53,000 pregnant and breastfeeding women who were also screened in May, just over 3% were admitted for treatment. And crazy. Which game? It was like, it was the hand of God, right?
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to Mirror Now.